Willian.
Football seasons across Europe might have gotten underway, but with the transfer window still left with exactly 2 weeks still to actually slam shut, there is obviously plenty of transfer speculation surrounding a lot of top players and of course a lot of top clubs. Hello everyone and welcome back to Sports Today. My name is Shane Reyes and today we're going to look at some of the more interesting or more, let's say, accurate or trustworthy transfer rumors that are currently doing the rounds. Now bear in mind, the thing with rumors is all of them should be taken with big grains of salt, but the simple fact of the matter is there are some transfer reports or rumors out there that would be a little more credible than the others. In case you're worried about having to sift through all of the rumors to find out what's reliable and what's not, don't be. That's what we're here for, and we're going to go through some of the more interesting transfer rumors that are currently doing the round. So let's get straight to it. This man, Cristiano Ronaldo, has been pining for a move away from United pretty much this entire summer. And whilst pretty much all of Europe's top clubs that he were offered to ended up turning down the chance to sign him, it might just seem like that chance to actually escape United is coming at last in the form of another homecoming, this time to Sporting Lisbon. Yes, Lisbon was of course the club where, Ronaldo got his start in international club football, and he could very well be set for a sensational return to the Portuguese league. Now obviously this would require a bit of maneuvering financially because of course I'm pretty sure Lisbon might not want to actually pay a transfer fee, but given United may just want to get rid of the aging striker, they might just choose to terminate his contract. Either way, there is serious interest in a move actually happening at this point. And speaking of United, something that we're going to be doing about a lot in this particular window, because dear God, that club is targeting anyone and everyone at this point. They are interested in a move for Chelsea winger Christian Pulisic. Now again, this might seem like a bit of a left of field option because why would you go to a rival Premier League club? But the simple fact of the matter is, as demonstrated this window, Premier League clubs are a lot more relaxed about doing business with each other, even the so-called Big Six. And Pulisic so far has not seemed anywhere close to the Chelsea starting 11. He's struggling for minutes, and the loan move, and yes, it is indeed a loan move that's been mooted to United, not a permanent deal, would help him get some game time under his belt, which is something that would be important considering, remember, the end of this year, the FIFA World Cup is happening, and none of the country's top players want to actually be taking too much break. Pulisic, remember, is the captain of the USA and is their great hope in terms of being their talismanic forward. So he would be keen to get some game time under his belt. Whether or not the transfer happens, again, we don't know. But what we know is that United are legitimately interested. Speaking of legitimate interest in Manchester United, they've had a move for this man, João Felix, turned down. Now, this one was a bit of a left-of-field rumor, but it has come from credible outlets in the Spanish media who are saying that United reportedly made an offer of about 100 million euros for João Felix, and Atletico straight up turned them down. Now, it is worth noting that Atletico are open to selling certain players because they need to kind of balance their books out a little bit. They do have a few big earners there, but Felix is probably not one of those players who they would be keen to sell. They'd probably be keener to sell players like Saul Niguez and Alvaro Morata. Felix, on the other hand, is seen as something of a central part of their new team identity and someone who will be key to their hopes of winning trophies or challenging for trophies in many years to come. And so it seemed unlikely at best that such a move would have taken place. And well, 100 million euros, if you're not tempting a club to sell, it's probably not happening. United should be looking elsewhere, but the reason that they are scrambling all over the place is because it's pretty clear they do need players, and well, they're also kind of being rejected left, right and center. Remember this man, Anthony from Ajax? Remember, a new manager of United, Erik ten Hag, wanted Anthony to sign for the club, but it doesn't look like that's going to be happening. So this one isn't as much of a transfer rumor as much as it is a shutting down of a transfer rumor, because again, the Brazilian forward was reportedly interesting and willing to move on from Ajax before the start of this season, but as things stand, he's reportedly not looking for a move, is happy in the Dutch side, and doesn't seem like he's going to be pushing too hard to join Manchester United. Why would he? Let's be fair. But speaking of clubs that of course are in need of reinforcements, this man, Wesley Fofana of Leicester City, has been a rumoured target of Chelsea, who again had lost two centre-backs at the beginning of this transfer market, have only recruited one in Kalidou Koulibaly and are reportedly making Wesley Fofana their next big target in terms of their centre-back acquisitions. Now, Fofana is also keen on the move, but reports suggest that Leicester, as of now, are holding out for at least the kind of sum that they got for Harry Maguire from Manchester United, which you would remember would be in around the £80 million mark. Now, Fofana is keen on the move, but he feels like he's being priced out. However, that being said, it is Leicester's prerogative what it is that they demand, because again, they're not in a position where they necessarily need to sell a lot of players. In fact, they'd rather keep a hold of Fofana for one more season. Such has been the kind of form that he's shown both last season as well as in the starting of this particular season. Will that Chelsea move happen? We don't know for sure, but it does seem like Chelsea would have to shell out some big bucks to actually convince the Foxes to let it happen. But speaking of Chelsea transfers that could in fact be happening but are being held up by transfer demands, this man, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, remember him? Former Arsenal skipper, ended up being the thorn in Chelsea's side during the end of the 2019-20 season when Arsenal won the FA Cup. Well, apparently he's looking for a return to London and in fact looking to move on from Barcelona already, despite only joining them, remember, the second half of last season. There are reports that the Gabon striker is being phased out because they want to get his wages off the books so that they can register other players. The mess at Barcelona is something else entirely, but simple fact of the matter is Aubameyang is reportedly okay moving and he's been linked to two clubs, Chelsea and Manchester United. He would reportedly prefer a move to Chelsea, but the big stumbling block again is the transfer fee, because Barcelona are asking for a transfer fee of around £25 million. That's money that the London club are understandably not willing to play, given Aubameyang is already in his 30s and probably doesn't have that much time left in terms of the peak of his past. Whether or not this transfer happens will remain to be seen, but the simple fact is Barcelona would actually do well to move him on regardless of the circumstances, because, well, they really need the money and they also need to free up their wage bill. But speaking of Barcelona, one player who they will not be signing, even if they manage to make some space on their wage bill, is Bernardo Silva. Now again, you'd remember that they were linked to Bernardo Silva even last season for a long time. There was talk about him making the move to the Catalonia club. It didn't materialize. Same thing happened this summer. Remember, City manager Pep Guardiola did say that we don't quite know what's going to happen with Bernardo Silva. We like having him around, but if he wants to move, it's going to be his choice. Well, in the end, it's not really his choice, because City valued him at about 100 million euros. Barca simply didn't have that kind of money, so they've walked away from potentially trying to sign the Portuguese midfielder. If you're a City fan, you'd doubtlessly be a big fan of the news, such as the versatility, importance, and of course the kind of creativity that Bernardo provides to that team. You wouldn't really be wanting to see him go to Barcelona, understandably so. Now, speaking of other players in the Premier League who are being targeted, there's this young man, Anthony Gordon of Everton, who is being reportedly monitored by a number of clubs, but Chelsea are the club who are looking to supposedly outprice everyone else. Remember, they've made a bid for about £45 million to Everton. Everton said no. They value him at around £50 million, but even then, there's no guarantee that they would want to sell him, considering that current Everton manager and former Chelsea manager and player Frank Lampard is a massive fan, and they probably wouldn't need the money as much. They could probably do with keeping him for another season or two and possibly demand a bigger sum, because right now the reason people are excited is because of the potential that Gordon possesses. He's not actually done that much in the Premier League, but the simple fact is there's a lot of potential, and that is why there are big clubs already interested in signing him. Keep an eye out for this one, because I don't think we'll see the last of this particular move, but there's still 2 weeks in the transfer market to go. Anything can happen. So obviously then, if we're talking about player transfers, there's another interesting one, and this one was somewhat left of field. Remember Willian? He's played for both Chelsea and Arsenal, and the Brazil winger could very well be set to join another London club. Yes, you heard that right. He could be joining Fulham, who only recently won promotion back to the Premier League. Remember, Willian had joined Corinthians from Arsenal, and of course, he had joined them on a free transfer, but it was only a 1-year deal. That deal is now over. He's been training with Fulham, and he could very well end up signing for them. How good or bad a signing would this be? Well, I mean, Willian has kind of struggled in the Premier League in recent years, but he has a lot of experience, has won plenty of trophies, and might just be a good signing in terms of galvanizing or improving, the ability or the morale of the locker room of the Fulham dressing room. Again, they have had some bad luck in terms of, dropping in and out of the Premiership in recent years, Fulham, but a signing like Willian would provide them with some much needed experience, and he would at the very least be a decent squad player to have around. Now, that's of course it for this particular edition of the Transfer News Wrap. Again, there's only 2 weeks left of the transfer market, because remember, September 1st, 11 o'clock at night is the time when the transfer window slams shut. No business can be done after that. At least the completion of transfers can't be done after that. So I suspect there's going to be way more rumors coming, and of course all of us here at Sports Today will be tracking them and bringing you the latest updates or the more interesting rumors that will be happening. So don't forget to join us for those. Let us know in the comments which transfer rumors you want to see come true, or let us know of any interesting rumors that you heard of. And of course, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course tap the bell icon so that you know when it is we're going live or uploading a new video for you guys. Also, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and don't forget to download the AajTak app for all of the latest breaking news updates from the world of sport. As always, I've been Shane Dias. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you all again very, very soon. Bye bye for now.